Well, the key thing here is that the people who are rioting and doing a great deal of damage in Hong Kong are unacceptable for two reasons. Firstly, and most immediately, is because, of course, they're very violent rioters who are damaging the situation, and no country in the world, except people assaulting people on the streets, smashing up property, and other matters like that. If this was happening in the United States, already many of the rioters would have been killed by the American police. I mean, it's astonishing that you have even yesterday in Minneapolis, you have riots because of the killing of a black person by the American police, and this is treated as normal, whereas in the Hong Kong, nobody has been killed by the police. So that's the first. But then there's a more fundamental reason, which is the real aim of the people who are rioting in Hong Kong, the leaders, not necessarily some of the people who are confused, is that they want secession from China. And I always remind, for a Western audience in particular, who is the greatest president of the United States in general opinion? This is Abraham Lincoln. What is Abraham Lincoln famous for? Because when the South tried to secede, he crushed them. The United States would never agree to a section of the United States seceding from the United States. And Lincoln didn't use riot police. Lincoln sent the army in to deal with the situation. So it should be rather easy for people in the West to understand that China will not accept the people seceding from China any more than the United States under Abraham Lincoln would accept people seceding. The fundamental feature of this law is therefore to make the proposals to advocate secession from China illegal. And that's exactly what the United States has dealt with from a military point of view. And then there's the more immediate one, is to deal with the violent rioters. That's all that seems to be involved, and it seems rather mild compared to the way that the United States would deal with such a situation, for example. This is a complete load of hypocrisy. It's absurd. Britain ruled Hong Kong for 100 and more than 150 years. It never had the election of the governor of Hong Kong once during that entire period. And it had a situation whereby there were very violent suppression of demonstrations in this period during Hong Kong, carried out by the British. The United States never made one single complaint. We have a ridiculous situation. For example, the last governor of Hong Kong, Chris Patten, who was elected by nobody, suddenly appears on the television today. I was watching him on Bloomberg, announcing his big support for democracy in Hong Kong. This is ridiculous. He was never elected by anybody in this situation. The United States made not one single complaint about the British activity during this entire period, and suddenly it decides that the situation in Hong Kong takes actions by the United States. This is just pure 100% hypocrisy, that's all.